Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. We are joined by Eno Sarris as we are doing the Cy Young draft. Let's talk ball. And it's St. Patrick's Day.
Two pieces of green. Somebody pinched Trevor.
I have green on my hat.
Okay,
That's not
yeah,
green.
in there somewhere.
That's not green. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, presenting you by SeatGeek. Jake Storielli, Trevor Bloom.
He's got Merce out.
With his high fashion Merce in the mountains. And Eno Sarris joining us. Eno, where are you coming from?
It's fabulous Phoenix, Arizona.
God, as we're wrapping up spring training, man.
How's it's been a bender of a week.
I like that. Eno just informed us he's not the biggest morning guy, as we told him, hey, let's record at 7 a.m. on the West Coast. So we thank you for joining us. Trev, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Spent the last couple days perusing the mountain, Jake, and I've fallen in love with skiing, as you know. So it's been a great time. But baseball's here, baby. We got Eno. We got the Dodgers game, Dodgers Cub game tomorrow. Like, time to lock it in, Pop. It's time to lock it in.
Yeah, if you're not a morning guy, are you tuning into that? Are you catching the highlights?
I'll
stay up
watch
for it, right?
I'll watch it. I'll watch it after.
We'll catch the social media.
No
posts.
live tweets from me on that one.
I think I think on the East Coast we're live streaming it. So anyone who wants to tune in, I'll be there. I think Jom's in. We'll see who else in the office we can sucker into it. But that's for tomorrow. Let's get into the Cy Young draft, which has become an annual episode for us. We did it last year. We had Jimmy and BBD and said we packaged them together. We got Eno. And BBD actually cooked us last year. He drafted Scooble, which ended up being massive points for him, and Zach Wheeler, which that's a guy who always seems to rack up points. I didn't tell you this point. We just go with the actual vote points from the end of year Cy Young and just add them up. So there's, if you get a winner, you're sitting pretty. But if you get a couple 2 3s, you can add them up. Trev, you did pretty well last year. You had Cole Reagans, who was had not received Cy Young votes before. And Corbin Burns, your first round pick. That puts you in second place. Jimmy, with Logan Webb and Dylan Cease, his last round pick ended up third. I pitched a shutout, not to flex my muscles as I'm dressed up like a goddamn leprechaun today. But Strider in the first round hurt. Pick your Mariner. I went Kirby. Glasnow's end of the season. Justin Steele and Yuri Perez. So that was a kiss of death from me last year.
Well done.
Thank you. It's good. I consider myself an expert in the field of sorts. And we did do a random number generator before this draft. People may believe it, people may not. I got the first pick. Eno will be the 2 pick in the middle of me and Trev, as he is right now, and Trev will be the wraparound. Any I guess you shouldn't be revealing this to us, but any strategy coming into this? You kind of asked if there was any crazy rules. Not really. We just have you need one guy who hasn't gotten votes before rule.
I may do something strategic about that right in the first round.
Okay.
I know where you're going, Eno.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably do.
With that, let's get into it. Also, anything we need to hype up before getting into the season? Any of your stuff? What do you got?
I got player tiers up today. I'm going to do my pitching ranks again. They're pretty popular. I'm going to do my pitching ranks, update them this week, and those will be up on the Athletics and rates and barrels. We're a daily podcast now.
Yeah, man. And I'm excited, dude. This spring, it's every spring, but you got new pitches. You've got and that's where I said if we couldn't do this, I wanted to get you maybe a month in, do some stuff plus check-in type deals of who's actually moving the meter. But we'll get there when we get there. Let's get into the draft. The Cy Young draft is brought to you by SeatGeek. Baseball is coming. people. Get some tickets. Get your favorite seat in the ballpark. Where do you like to sit? Like left field, right field, third baseline, first baseline, right behind the dish? SeatGeek has them all. They have seats. They're geeks. That means they know what they're doing. And hey, if you're not ready for baseball season, well, you are. That's a lie. But you can also go still see some basketball games, some hockey games, or go see a concert. Weekends on tour. Go get tickets in. Wherever there are seats, SeatGeek has them. And you're going to save 10% off with tickets with Talkin 2025. 10% off with code Talkin 2025. It's the #1 rated ticketing app. I just went to the Garden, watched some college basketball. Go Huskies. So whatever you like to go to, code Talkin 2025, 10% off your next tickets at SeatGeek. Go download it today, or just add the code and save money. Boom. With the first pick, it's me. I'm throwing strategy out the window because that worked well last year. No, man, every time I look at the stat page, it blows my mind that he finished third in the Cy Young last year with 133 innings. We have a social guy who's kind of no filter. Shout out to our guy Kyle. And midway through last season, he said he's the best pitcher that's ever pitched, and we were like, all right, like calm down. Like, I don't know. This, like, baseball happens. We see guys happen, and that becomes part of it. Paul Skeens, I think he is different. So if you're giving me the one pick, I'll take Skeens, and I don't know if the new cutter is going to be a real pitch for him. I don't know if anything matters for him. He just makes it look so easy. And he finished third last year to Sale and Wheeler with only 133 innings pitched and 23 starts. So if I curse him, then tough day to be Luck of the Irish.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I mean, he's just amazing. One of the funniest things coming up was like we were talking about, oh, the shape of his fastball is not ideal. I mean, I said that once, I think.
Can you talk to me before you say something like that? I'm like, hey, he goes 100 miles an hour and dots it, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out if you sit 99, you're fine.
He makes it look too easy.
Great pick, Jake. Way to go.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I kind of couldn't screw that up, so I think the draft order worked out. Eno, you have the board. You can be articulate if you want, or just dunk on us.
Probably a classic overreaction to the only rule and over-strategizing. But like at the top, I think there are some obvious candidates, and it's okay to kind of divert. I'm gonna go Garrett Crochet, the hardest throwing lefty in the sport.
Okay.
Because he's never gotten a Cy Young vote, and he will this year. I mean, dude is super nasty, and it's obviously as the hardest throwing lefties, like sits 98. But he evolved a little bit last year, and he added a sinker late, and he can be a 4-pitch guy, sinker, sweeper. Of course, it's all about that fastball and that cutter, but if he's like a 4-pitch guy, left-hander, he's gonna dominate, dude. He's gonna have a great season.
That is not where I thought you were gonna go with that one. I like the pick, obviously. He's a stud, and I have very, very high hopes for him and the Red Sox this year. I thought you were going Sasaki. Like that's kind of
the shape of his fastball is not. I'm not even kidding.
He did get taken up top by some kid on the backfield. That was like one of his first outings, but he's been good since then. That's funny though. I like the Crochet pick, man. I think the Red Sox are gonna like shock the world this year.
Yeah, I've got a bold prediction on them, dude.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's Trev just trying to balance out our Yankee side at the office, but Trev is really loving the Red Sox this year. And,
have you seen Roman Anthony's fucking swing, dude? I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Well, it doesn't for me. It doesn't project well.
Campbell too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I got 2 picks here, and I'm gonna go with I think a couple easy picks, and I want to get some points. So I'm gonna go Scoobs. Last year's Triple Crown winner in the AL. I think he doesn't have a lot of like competition behind him. Like he's going to be in the top 5 Cy Young votes in the AL. I believe behind him last year was Clase 3rd and Lugo was 2. And like for those guys to to do that again is, I don't know how much we could bank on that. So I mean, yeah, Crochet is like one of the guys that's going to go up against him, but I believe in Scoobs, his stuff. He's obviously going to have to do that for that Tigers rotation. So I'm going to take him with the number 3 pick. I mean, he won it last year. He's in his prime. I don't know. It seems like the right pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels, I guess maybe I just have Sandy in my head, which I don't know, no spoilers maybe, but I feel like, have we seen pitchers have these like 2-year runs where they're just disgusting, and then I don't know if the innings catch up or the leagues catch up, but it feels like Scooble's lined up between that, the ballpark, and just how he's peaking. Yeah.
For the 4th pick, I'm going to go with my guy Sasaki. That's the guy that's never received a Cy Young vote. He's come over here. I think he looks good. You could talk about the shape of his fastball all you want, but again, I think he throws.
He
like
can't
99.
spin it either. He can't spin it.
Get him,
His
Eno.
Rakers are not good. Listen, I'm saying this as someone who would poop my pants if he literally can't spin it. I know, but like,
what about the splitter? Talk about the splitter though.
The splitter is really, really good. But I've seen guys get swings off on his fastball this spring.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking spring guys too.
Yeah, I told you there was that video of the lefty for somebody
for the White Sox.
White Sox. Yeah, that was nice.
But I mean, there's also like, couldn't they teach him a good hard cutter or something?
He's in the Dodgers organization. I like that for development. And again,
Velo is Velo. You can't say nothing about Velo.
Yeah, so those are my 2 picks. I like him. I think I'm going to get Cy Young votes from both those guys. He's got a good story too. Love the whole thing.
I don't know what innings they push him to. Like I think he threw a $111 last year, and also the Dodgers season literally just comes down to October. That I don't know how much they're going to push him, but I don't know. He's probably.
We had a guy with 130 innings last year get 3rd place in the NL Cy Young, Jake.
That's right. Yeah, innings don't matter as much. It's true.
We're going rates.
Just spin it back. Look at you, Trev. Eno's here. You got a little more confidence today. Right. Yeah. I'm dressed like a fucking idiot. You're feeling good today. Eno, the board is back to you.
So when this guy, I went to Modesto to see this guy pitch, and he was like this fresh-faced kid that like, he had this big curveball and he was just so happy to throw it. And he was like, I want to be Justin Verlander. And like, he was like so earnest, and I wanted to hug him. Then he comes up, and his first year, he's awful. He gets just getting beat in. And when he comes off the mound, he's just all like, I just wanted to hug him, dude. He was like so sad. He's a little puppy. This is Logan Gilbert I'm talking about, who throws with most extension of the business. So the ball is like in your face when he releases it. And now he has this like dominant persona on the mound. If you've watched him, like he is like ready to go. And he does this whole thing like in the clubhouse, was dumb, but like the whole like, nobody talk to me, like I'm locked in. Like he's got that whole thing going. Like he's your ace, he's the Seattle Mariners ace. And then he also, every spring, he shows me like 3 new pitches. So this year he thinks he might throw 3 curveballs.
I love watching a pitch. You kind of lost me now. He is the guy that like, I'm picking the music. Nobody talked to me. I'm choosing the jersey. We all know those guys, but I do like it. I think he led the league in whip last year, 0.8 or something like that. I love that. I like guys that don't walk people, and that's the epitome. And he throws a ton of innings.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little old school, but I like guys that throw innings and don't walk people, and that's slow to a T.
I think good home parks like that Scooble pick. It's like good home parks. Also,
we need to get in on that.
We're supposed to be park adjusted, but like we're supposed to be able to like take the pitcher out of the park and be like, oh yeah, like I know what I'm doing when I'm voting. But like we're all influenced. If that ERA starts with like a 1, it doesn't matter what park he's in. People are gonna get votes. He's gonna get votes.
There was that awesome article. I'm blanking on who wrote it this offseason, but on the Mariners ballpark. I mean, it's real.
I just talked to Mitch Haniger about this, and it was hilarious what he said. So like, this guy studied the park effect for strikeouts in Seattle. Why are there more strikeouts in Seattle? And Teoscar said the batter's eye is askew, and that is part of it. But this guy took the level of the sun and played that against the strikeouts, expected strikeouts, and found an exact point in the sun's descent where the strikeouts in Safeco go through the, what is it called now? T-Mobile, whatever, in Seattle. They go through the roof. There's an exact moment. And I was like, I told Mitch this, and he goes, yeah. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it comes through the windows. I'm like, what? He's like, the sun, it comes through the windows on the concourse. It goes right on the batter's eye, and the batter's eye is light green, and you can't see the
Oh,
ball anymore.
that
And
sounds horrible.
he said it so matter of factly, and he's like, and they could fix it if they wanted any day. They just have to put some shades on those. I was like, you think they don't want to fix it? He's like, no, man, it's like an advantage for them.
You know,
He's-
at T-Mobile, I went 5 for 60. No, excuse me, 9 for 62. I hit 145 with a 145
Nice.
slug.
That place is so hard,
It's
dude.
real.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
so
man.
insane. That's so insane. I think Petriello wrote the article earlier this offseason. Go click on it because some of the routes and things that just get mentioned. I think there's a wind tunnel potentially like in front or behind the mound, and it's just how do we do this and how it affects the game is crazy. And I always jump to the opposite of that. The first London game, like when guys were just teeing off, I was like, time out. So if you just, even if the mound and the plate are the same distance, if you change a couple of the ballpark factors a little bit, it's a completely different sport.
Yeah, you know
okay.
what the trop does? It inflates your stuff as a pitcher. There's a
Right.
stuff park factor.
Well, I
That's why
remember.
the strikeouts are through the roof in the trop is because it's like a lab. So it's a lab environment. The pitch comes out and like
Yeah.
it does what the pitcher wants it to, you know?
I hit 165 at Tropicana
Yeah.
with a 223 slug. It's
Trev!
I'm just looking at the stats, people.
You take those two ballparks out.
Out.
Yeah,
look
they're
out.
really
Exactly.
good, dude.
They didn't have park
damn.
adjusted back in my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would Ron Gardenhire tell you about the park adjusted stats? Today's episode is sponsored by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Life's a trip, so why not make the most of it with 4,000 hotels worldwide? Best Western is there for every detour, destination, and unexpected turn along the way. Whether you're hitting the road, traveling for work, or chasing the next big game, there's a room waiting for you. But a great stay isn't just about rest. It's about what comes next, because travel isn't always predictable, but that's what makes it great. Best Western is there for every wrong turn that leads to the right story, every unplanned turn that becomes a highlight, and every moment that makes a lasting memory. So stay out a little later, take the scenic route, and make the most of the ride. Ready to get going on your next adventure? It's waiting for you at Best Western. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. Okay, great pick, Eno. No, I have questions about him, but I'm not about him. I guess those Mariners pitchers, it becomes lame baseball media, but they start to blend together a little bit. And I guess on a given year, I don't know who's going to be the guy, but he's been the guy, and he finished 6th in Cy Young voting last year. Okay, so that gives me the double. Do you want to play it safe, or do you want to go? I feel like I should be playing it safe after
You're
I
not
look
a
at.
safe guy, Jake.
Yeah, you're right. You're so
Yeah,
right.
look at you.
You're right. Let's see. Kirby Yates got 2 votes last year. No, I think I'm gonna go with. You know what? We've got more brain power here than we normally have. I'm gonna build off of it, and I liked what you were saying about Tampa, a guy that's got pretty good odds, and he's coming back this year, and not a lot of people are talking about it. I'm going to take Shane McClanahan. Shane McClanahan is back. I think people forget. Not people forget. That sounds like lazy podcasting, but that guy's nasty, man. And hardest throwing lefty. I guess I'd have to put them side by side because I feel like McClanahan had similar to what Crochet had in the tank. Maybe he's got the higher max. But give me that ballpark factor that Eno just planted in my head, and I was thinking about taking him anyways in this trap.
They're not
so
playing at the Trop this year, Pop.
Fuck! I take my pick back. I
Playing
take my
at a minor
pick
league
back.
Stadium.
They're playing
It's
in a
out.
mini Yankee stadium.
He's gonna get rocked. I take the pick back. Trev, that's why we keep you around, man.
This whole time I was like, he knows they're not playing at the Trop.
No, I
Roof
totally
on the
forgot.
Trop.
That's such a weird storyline to this season. They're playing at the Yankees High A facility. Okay, McClanahan,
He's
you're
still
out.
nasty. It doesn't matter. You're
No.
changing.
Yeah, I'm changing. No way.
Oh, wait a second, referee.
No way. Rob
Card
has
played, Bob.
is the pick in? If the pick's in, the pick's in.
I mean, I think it's out. I don't want to, because you didn't know. You know,
I did though. And
No
this is
way.
my job.
This is your
I'm
job.
keeping it.
All right,
I'm
you're
keeping
Okay,
it.
we're keeping it. All right.
You host
Fuck
the
Trev.
baseball show.
God damn. That's on me.
Didn't read
Can
the
we-
packet.
Put the goddamn roof back on. Well, shoot. All right. So that pick's going to be bad. That means
This one's
let's
gonna
go.
be great.
You know what I love? I love McClanahan this year. I love him. I think he's going to be
he's
special.
great. He's amazing.
I think he's going to be back. God damn it, Jake. I think I'm going to go lefty and lefty. God, he finished sixth in the Cy Young in 2022. Maybe he's going to be, this is going to be his Scooble year. This is going to be his bounce back. I'm going to go with a guy that he found a new home. He got the Cy Young a couple years ago, and his second half of the season is always better than his first half of the season. It's my favorite stat in baseball because he's now been doing it since 2016. I'm going to take Snell. He found a new home with the Dodgers. They kind of don't care about anything because they have this great team, but he might be the horse for that team. And if Blake Snell throws over 130 innings, he tends to win the Cy Young. So I'll go with Snell.
Yeah, I mean, if they do go to a six, and they kind of been doing an undercover six for a while, 6-man rotation there, I feel like they cap out at like 135, 140 innings.
Hey, give me
But
140.
I mean, yeah, if they're dominant like the Skeens thing, it's a good example. We're definitely as a voting crew at the BBWA, we have definitely over time have been voting for less sample, like fewer innings.
I don't know. I just feel like he's
He can go on runs. That's what you love about him. He can go on a
Yeah.
run where he is absolutely unhittable. He looks like the best pitcher in the game, has been the best pitcher in the game at times. So I understand the pick there.
well. Give me
I mean,
like a
sometimes it can be as
natural-
simple as, has he won the Cy Young before? Yes. Okay, then maybe he'd win the Cy Young this year.
give him a full spring training and like healthy and that. Just I don't know everything with the Dodgers org. If he has a 3.5 at the All-Star break, he has a great chance to win the Cy Young because every year his second half is better. I'm
People
done.
are going to come back to these last two picks, and they're going to be pointing them out. For you.
Yeah, I'm
They
worried. All right, Eno, pick it back
Could
up.
be in a good way, dude. Two dominant lefties that had great years.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to go with a righty whose best pitch is the cutter that he lost for a little bit of last year, but he found it at the end of the season and added a sweeper, and I think he's going to come into his own. Corbin Burns is going to come back a little bit on the strikeouts. He's in a great place, I think, for a dominant season. That park is just it's another kind of a labby environment
Yeah.
where he'll get those movements down. The cutter's a dominant pitch and it suppresses balls in play. So like even if he doesn't strike out the world, he's the kind of guy that could have an ERA that starts with 1 this year.
No, I mean, I love. That's one of the reasons I picked Scoobs because Corbin's out of the AL and he's, I think he's got a lot of competition in the National League. I think that's where some of the best pitching lies this year. But
I mean,
I like
Steve is going to be a tough one.
I like the team behind him as well. So he got the deal. He's going to be at home. There's a lot of things to like about, like you said, the environment there to pitch in. And I feel like that staff. Knowing some of those guys, like I feel like they're just going to talk a bunch of ball and like going to get better because of it. So I like that pick. Okay.
Did he change the shape of his cutter for contact initially last year, and then by the end of the year change that, or am I missing?
I think that what happened. I was talking to Bieber about this one time. Like Bieber realized all of a sudden that he had changed the release of his curveball like an inch over the course of like 8 years. Just for like a little bit, and then they showed him the slow motion video of early in his career and like lately, and he's like, "What?" Like, I think that things come and go a little bit. Like you kind of do these little adjustments, and then someone's like, "Hey, by the way, like your cutter doesn't have the same shape." You're like, "Why?" And I think he's pretty inquisitive. He's like, the Brewers like tend to like have these really inquisitive pitchers that mesh with their very analytical style in Milwaukee. So I think he's the kind of guy who'll tinker and add. I like guys who add pitches like like Logan Gilbert's three
Gilbert.
curveballs.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Coach?
I have one. This guy is in a walk year, so he's looking to get the big payday. Last year, I believe, I have it up right here, was Cy Young 4. He plays down in San Diego, and he is one of those guys this year that's adding a new-ish pitch. He changed his changeup. He started to throw it a little bit harder. That's Dylan Cease. Elite innings guy, strikeout guy, everything you like about a Cy Young pitcher, Dylan Cease is. And again, it's the walk year, man. He's got to go ball out this year so he gets the fat payday. I'm taking him, what was that, my third pick?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a good pick for a third pick.
Is he getting traded?
I did laugh because his old changeup was like made me angry.
It was like 65 miles an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
And he like dropped it on the plate. It was just like it was like an ephus. It's the ephus of changeups. I'm ready for him to have a good changeup. I am ready. The first time I ever saw him was on the backfield, and John Baker was like, "You got to see this kid. He's like 98 up here with a power curve. It's like the best prospect I've ever seen." And that was when he was a Cub. That's kind of sad for them.
Yeah, 33 starts last year. I'm like a big Bolt guy, and you guys let me have this guy. And now I've got both Triple Crown winners. I'm going to take Chris Sale with my wraparound pick. He's an anomaly. Like nobody else throws like him. I always say that on our show. Like the arm angle, the way he steps towards the first base dugout. Like everything is just different. You do not see guys like him. It was very hard to, unless you face him time and time again. Like you're just not ready for it. It doesn't matter. He changes shapes with all his pitches, slows him down, speeds him up. And again, Triple Crown winner last year. Give me Chris Sale.
Fine.
Love it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Where does he like mechanically? If you are looking at it from in the box, where does he look like a Randy Johnson, or does he look like a Madison Bumgarner at all? He's these kind of lower.
Bum's a good one. I never faced Randy Johnson. In fact, my first ever almost like big league at bat was in spring training, and I was on deck, and I was about to face Randy Johnson. I was like, "What is going on in my life?" I was I was like 18 years old, and he ended the inning right before they went to a new pitcher, so I didn't get to face him. Wow. But I think Bumgarner is a good comparison there. Just it's just so different. And Bumgarner was like a big presence, and Sale is like a slender man. Like he's so it just looks weird coming out. He looks like he's picking over to first base, and every single at bat. I mean, we could go and check this out. Like I feel like every single bat, all he would do to start me off to get me 0-1 was a throw the backdoor slider. And it starts in the other batter's box. Could never pull the trigger on. I knew it was coming, and he would just
never look like a strike.
It never looked. And you know what? It might with the new ABS. I might have been challenging it every single time. It might have went around the plate. I don't know, but that's what he would do to me every single time. And again, you just can't. There's nobody that pitches like him, so you can't really compare pitchers. You're just not ready. So for Sale, my guy.
Nice turnaround, Trev. That was better than my turn. Eno, split us up.
I'm going with a new ligament on a near Hall of Fame guy, I think already, Jacob deGrom. Give me that new ligament. I just, not to be less facetious, like what I like with guys returning is when they come back at the end of the season and just demonstrate that their stuff is back and like. That they can maybe have a normal off season. So I really like that DeGrom came in and, blew his 99s and hundos and, looked like he was Jacob deGrom again. And I think that, that team needs him to be their ace. And I think if he gets like 140 innings, man, like I think he might just win a Cy Young. I mean, he's that good. He's, I think our generation's maybe best per inning pitcher, per inning starter. But the bulk has not been there for him, so that's why it's a borderline Hall of Fame case. But I think he'll start to remake that case with like a Cy this year in 140 innings.
He just big leagued our friend Jolly Olive, so I got a little bad taste in my mouth with him. But I think every baseball fan is rooting for DeGrom to come back and look like the guy that we know he can. He did, like you mentioned, last September, come back and make those starts. He's looked good in spring training, so it's how long does it last, right? I guess that's what we always think of with Jacob deGrom, which sucks that that's the first thing you go to. But he is when he is on, it's something different. And tell me this, obviously he was a shortstop, became a failed shortstop, becomes a pitcher. I feel like he throws like, do you ever see like guys that change from position players to pitchers kind of like later in their life? Do you feel like they have different like arm action? Like I always feel like he's got a shortstop's throw to his.
It's kind of slingy.
Yeah.
It's like, but also lower slot, like to some extent, like Schwellenbach and Michael Givens were shortstops, and they had these weird like slots, and maybe that's
And
like a really,
adjustability with the arm angle, I feel like
yeah.
too. Like you can kind of make throws from all these different angles that you have to do as a shortstop. And I don't know if he's done that over his career. He's changed a lot. It kind of looks like he's got great mechanics that he repeats a lot, which is what you want. But I always notice that
No, he
guys that
just throws
switch,
the most stressful. The reason he's hurt is he throws the most stressful pitches on your arm. I mean, he throws really close to his maximum, which is supposedly very stressful, other than just throwing 99. And then the hard slider, they did some research at Driveline where they were looking at the different the stress on your elbow with like the pulse. I mean the whatever the sleeve that I have,
Mhm.
and what they found was like, oh, fastballs put more stress on the elbow, except sliders per mile per hour put more stress on. So if you throw a 92 mile an hour slider, that's like it could be one of the most stressful pitches in baseball.
Oof.
But
Makes sense.
to take McGraw on so big me when I was a little bit younger as a writer, I came up to him and was like, "You got any time?" And he goes, "No." And then he sits down, he takes out a bag of chips, and he eats the chips one at a time while looking at me.
I'm back in on him.
I think
That's acceptable game day behavior.
Wait, big league Jolly, big league Eno. Yeah, that's not bad.
But don't tell him not to feel bad.
God, it's crazy that we can't even we can't daydream of it. We can't daydream of the 150 innings, because if he does, then he probably does win the Cy Young.
Yeah.
But it's been a minute. And he should, if he is Texas and what they're doing this year. Hey, hoops fans! It's the most exciting month in college basketball. It's here right now with DraftKings. Underdogs ready to fight their way to the top. The established teams defending their titles. This is the time to lock in your picks with our partners at DraftKings. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use code Talkin. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use code Talkin. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code Talkin only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Okay, I'm gonna get my hasn't gotten Cy Young votes out of the way before coming up on the last round of the draft, right? I'm between. There's a couple Houston guys that are interesting. A couple other Pittsburgh guys that are interesting. I'm gonna go Hunter Brown. Houston. I don't know. It felt like a weird offseason. I think if this was a team without what they've done over the past decade or so, that we probably would have been tougher on it. But Hunter Brown finished down the stretch really strong last year. His last 13 starts, he had a 2.32 ERA. He kind of gets both sides out, and he's hitting his prime. He's 26 years old. They're banking on him to be the 1-2 punch with Framber. But I'm going to go with Hunter Brown. You mentioned old Verlander comps. I feel like when he came up, it was like, nice fastball, Verlander, Houston. And I don't know. It felt like something clicked last year, so why not take a chance out of the guy out of Wayne State? How about that?
Love it.
Yes, Eno.
He represents a little bit of the newest trend. We have this like stuff related trend where like just throw your best pitches and no don't throw your bad pitches. And now we're in a little bit more environment where everyone's like, I need to have 4 fastballs. And Hunter Brown added that sinker last year, and after he added a sinker, the ERA started with a 2. Like it just all clicked for him. I think people were keyholing his fastball, and it's a good fastball, but if even Verlander's had this happen to him, where it's like you give up homers if they guessed right, it makes it harder to guess right if you have 2 or 3 fastballs, right? Because you're like, oh, it's hard. It's the 4-seam. Oh crap, it was a sinker.
Yeah, in 2023, he was a 4-seam curveball cutter guy, and the curveball
Yeah.
just got absolutely blasted. So last year, like you said, he added the sinker. That had an 8-run value. He threw that. That was the second most used pitch behind the 4-seamer.
Yeah.
I like guys that make adjustments. I like guys that. It seems like now. I just had an episode with Kyle Gibson talking about pitchers and how it's easier than ever to add pitches because you have all the data, you have the slow-mo cameras, and it's just it's a bullpen away to fucking add a pitch, and every hitter just groans. And then we got guys complaining about what is the traject, the bat, like the pitcher throwing, and it's the machine throwing to the hitters. The pitchers are really mad about that. When you can just add a pitch whenever you want, like I'm over it. So I like Hunter Brown. Good pick.
I talked to a pitcher that used traject to get better. They were trying to convince Hayden Birdsong that he would be better on the third base side of the rubber. So they had him stand in against himself and throw his slider, and they moved him as if he'd be on the third base side of the rubber. Like, do you see it? And he's like, oh yeah, I see it. So
I think Shane Bieber was doing something with Dallas Braden. He said something like, I don't understand why I just don't throw a slider down in the way every pitch. Like, because he stood in on himself.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Dude, if pitchers only knew, like, gosh.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a presentation this weekend. I was at this analytics conference here where the average amount of pitches added every season since Hawkeye or since Trackman came in, it's like just been steadily going up. The average pitcher now adds like 4/10 of a new pitch. I mean, that means that, like, you know what I mean? Like, that means that most guys are actually adding a new pitch. They say they are, and you never know to believe them. Most guys, it's like every other guy is actually throwing a new pitch.
If I could get my like hitter bias away, I think it's really cool.
That's
the pitching science, like just
we all get to see new pitches, and there's like the chance we'll see a pitch type we haven't seen before. I'm chasing a story on a pitch we've never seen before. So
okay,
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, like we're talking, everyone's throwing the kick change now, and it's like when I see guys like. I love when guys take the baseball out and show me. I move my finger here and then up the seam and here. I'm like, you.
And then it goes.
Yeah, and they all can do that. Before it took a long time to know what you were doing, and you didn't have the instant feedback like they have now. So now it just happens. It's like technology and the simulation that we're in. It's just faster and faster and faster. We're not going to get into that.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Trev, I did like that was pretty crazy. You talking to Gibby last episode, and you mentioned the kick.
Good.
You mentioned the kick change, and Gibby was like, "I'm not sure what that is." But then he started talking, and he basically figured it out on the fly.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm guessing." It's like, okay, Kyle Gibson with a kick change for my Yankees in a couple weeks.
Love that.
Let's
if he'd sat like 98, he would have been an amazing pitcher.
Dude, he's had a great career,
Yeah, he did have a great career. Yeah, he did.
He's not done yet.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, right. The second half is coming for Gibby. Let's do the final round of the draft. I can't go risky because I already did that in the middle area. I'm going to go the opposite of kind of this like high end 140 innings, 150 innings. Like, can Zach Wheeler get one? He's got
Zach Wheeler is still on the ball.
He's got two Cy Young. Well, that's because people were jumping for McClanahan. He's got two Cy Young twos in 21 and 2024, and man, it's crazy. Because we think of him accumulating and 200 innings last year. The other time he got second, he had 213. And he just seems stable for that. He led the NL in WHIP last year. Like, I don't know. I think I don't think of him that way, even though his dominant starts obviously are there. He's a guy that threw 5 pitches last year, and he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there. So I'll round it out with Zach Wheeler, a little safer than some of my mid-round picks.
You needed that pick, Pop.
Yeah.
You really needed
that. That was huge for the little guy. Where do you round it out, Eno?
My pitcher lost more velo over the course of the season last year than any other qualified starter. That makes him a really great pick. Cole Reagans. I think actually though that he's figured out what went wrong mechanically. He said it was more of a lower body issue than the arm getting tired or whatever. It's always a little bit of a risk with him because he's kind of a two Tommy John guy. But it's pretty nasty stuff when he's out there, and I'm gonna bet on a guy. I like the parks. I think that's a decent park for guys. I know that it plays neutral overall, but it suppresses homers. So that's always a nice thing to have in your pocket as a pitcher.
High velo lefties, a theme of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't he was Cy Young 4 last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Good for him. I picked him last year. I was going to go with him if you didn't. That's a great pick. Now I got to rethink everything. I think I'm going to go with a safe pick here as well. And I talk about what I like in pitchers. And again, I like guys that throw innings still. I'm still that guy. I probably will always be that guy. I'm going with my guy, Logan Webb, because if we didn't pick Logan Webb, we would hear from Logan and be like, how did you not pick me? So I like the defense behind him. I really, he plays to that, obviously. I like the park that he pitches in, the fact that he makes every single start, goes deep into games. He's kind of, again, everything I like in a starting pitcher. So Logan Webb at the bottom of the draft is pretty good for me. I'm happy with that pick.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of pushback was it last year when he had he always has the most innings, and there was, the closer it gets with the other guys in terms of ERA and strikeout, the more somebody's going to be like, yeah, but he threw 200, come on. And there's definitely been some of that in the media. I could see that there being like sort of a campaign for Logan Webb,
There we go. And you know what we kind of forgot, didn't forget, we knew this, like you're kind of insider trading right now in this draft because you have a vote. You don't have votes. What's going on here?
They haven't handed me a vote yet. This is how much squirm out of this one. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah,
but
whoa,
we get our votes assigned in like August, so I potentially could vote for MVP. So after I get my vote assigned, I know what I'm voting for. I actually do stop talking about it.
No, I know you're the guy. You're the pitching guy.
But I can't. Yeah, that's the other thing. I couldn't stop talking about pitching because I might get the Cy Young vote. Like that's my job.
Yeah. Wow, Trev kind of throwing a dagger at the end there.
Thank you.
Hey,
I mean, you're right. It is it is a funky thing, those awards. But I do, like, as soon as I know what I have, I stop talking about it.
The final rosters for everyone. Trevor Plouffe with the last pick took Skubal, Sasaki, Dylan Cease, Chris Sale, and Logan Webb. Eno, Garrett Crochet, Logan Gilbert, Corbin Burns, Jacob deGrom, Cole Ragans, and myself, I took Skeens, Shane McClanahan confidently, Blake Snell, Hunter Brown, and Zach Wheeler. Maybe we'll come up with a fan team because, God, it feels silly whenever we do something like this, and if you have 3 or 4 guys, the names that still get left off the board, and it's just tough. Like, it feels bad, but year in, year out, like Seth Lugo finished second last year, and I don't know. That's tough to say he's going to do that again.
Yeah, I could see somebody like Schwellenbach like getting in there in the same way as Lugo because he has a ton of pitches and good command. And
we had a list of 12 guys in each league that hadn't received votes before. Tanner Bybee, Glasnow, Ronel Blanco was the other Houston guy I mentioned. Tanner Houck
never gotten votes.
Never gotten the votes.
Wow,
crazy.
That would have been a good one.
Tanner Houck, if he takes another step like he did last year, I was wondering if Trev was going to bust out a twin. Bailey Ober, Joe Ryan.
My quality start king, Bailey Ober. I do love him and Joe Ryan. How about Framber Valdez didn't get picked? That's talking baseball legend. The fact that we didn't go there is alarming. But
his contract year too, I think.
I mean, and he's not just like a ground ball guy. Like he strikes guys out. It's a pretty good pick.
We love Framber Valdez on this show.
He starts banging
Max
that
Fried.
down curve. Yeah, I thought about taking him with that McClanahan pick. And I'm just staying away from my Yankees right now, dude. There was bad Clark Schmidt news. He's throwing a bullpen right. I don't know. It's getting.
Oh yeah.
Give me baseball games that count.
And they didn't really have depth, because of their trade.
Thanks. Keep going.
Oh.
And they're out of prospects.
Cam Schlittler, come on down.
Cam Schlittler. Cookie Carrasco.
Yes.
Not
There's your
drafted.
4 and 5, baby.
Not drafted. Eno, thank you for doing this. I know Trev was hitting you up last week. I hit you up this weekend, and we always love hearing from you. Stop the music. I'm not ready, Rob. I know we said it before, but go check out the podcast. Go check out your writing at The Athletic. Go check out your pretty sunglasses. I don't know.
We over at Rates and Barrels, we had a closer last year, Trevor May, and this year we're adding a hitter. So that'll be news coming down the pipe soon.
Yeah, when's
Okay.
that announcement coming?
Yeah, anytime.
Okay.
Oh, a little teaser for the people.
Do you know who it is?
No, I said when is that announcement coming? That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
And any
It's not me.
I'll wait on it. I'll wait
And
on
how
it.
about that?
any more underwear modeling stuff coming up or no?
Oh, I do have a. Oh, I should do this one. If you're listening in San Francisco, we're doing live shows at the Bear Bottle, in Bernal Heights, and I made a beer, and there's a video of me in our Discord that's like just giggling like a schoolgirl putting the hops in, just absolutely a child.
Just taking big, deep breaths through your nose.
Yeah, I was like, this is so much fun, and they're like, this is work.
Sandwich king,
Yeah.
pitch king, beer king, and honestly, you're my favorite baseball writer. So
Wow.
Well, thank you very
I got all this
much.
stuff.
Wow. God,
That's
now hit
nice.
that music. That's where we do it.
Yeah.
Eno, thank you so much, brother. Enjoy. Is it final day at spring?
Yes, I'm out.
Wow. Hope you had a good spring. We'll see everyone on Wednesday. Thank you very much. I stink. Happy St. Pat's, I guess. I might have ruined it for everyone.
You did. The wraparound heard around the world, baby. That was a tough 2 picks right there.
Oh. Did he shoot himself at the end?
Have Zach edit some blood in there.
No.
All right.